One time that God made himself real to me was I was a junior in college, and as part of a class I was in, it was a spiritual disciplines class. I had to do a 6-hour solitude and silence retreat, and I just so happened to do that when I was leading worship for a camp, like for a youth camp. And so for 6 hours of one day, I just kind of went off by myself and I did this silence and solitude retreat. And I went into it really feeling confident in like who I was, my identity as a worship leader, my identity like going forward and what I was going to do and all these things. And just through that 6-hour retreat, God started to strip away all of the stuff that I thought that I was. He started to strip away all of the roles that I put myself in, or the titles that I had, and he just kind of started speaking to me and said, you think you know who you are, but you don't. You're not first a worship leader. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to perform to earn love. You're first my son, and no one could take that from you. No one could ever, nothing you do or anyone could do could ever take that from you. And you're loved, and it really started to shape who I was going forward. It really taught me a lot about how to be loved first and then in turn love others. And it was hard, it was painful, but it was God's grace, and I'm really grateful for it. It's hard for me to nail down one, but one of the scriptures that I come back to all the time for myself is just Psalms 23. I love the image of the Good Shepherd and how he makes us lie down. He doesn't make it an option for us. It's been really grounding for me. So I grew up in the area, actually. I grew up in like the Stockton, Manteca area, and I never heard about One Church. I left here in 2015 to go to college, and it wasn't until I moved back that I heard about it. And it was through a friend of my mom's. It was actually Savannah Williams. It was a friend of my mom's that told her about One Church, and then my mom told me about One Church, and Emily and I visited, and we felt like this is the church that God has for us, and then the rest is history, and here we are now. I think that Jesus is worth looking into because he didn't come to just die for us so that we might go to heaven one day. He came to show us how to live and to invite us into his way of living. And his way of living is the good life. And because of that, to live life to the full, that invitation, that is the best decision I ever made. And how I see it play out into my life is just, I wouldn't have it any other way.